FLUSH out clogged arteries without drugs. The at-home check that could save your heart. Are your arteries in danger? Hello? Are you aware that the average age for a cardiac event is 65 for some, yet 72 for others? The most troubling part. Many are unaware of how to prevent these crises. Now pause and consider. Could you be overlooking potential warning signs? Today we will discuss how to safeguard your vascular health, including the most and least beneficial foods for it. Is your diet supportive, or could you be making a critical error? I will also share a straightforward check you can perform at home at no cost to assess your circulatory wellness. Finally, I will reveal a recent scientific breakthrough that might transform how we address arterial blockages without an operation. And it does not involve stents. Intrigued? But first, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and select the notification bell to ensure you never miss crucial information like this. And let me know, have you or a relative ever experienced a cardiac event or a cerebral incident? Or received a diagnosis of arterial buildup? Where are you located? Please comment below. Let's begin. Have you ever considered how your body evolves with age? Or do you assume it stays the same? A significant change over time is that artery walls can become more rigid and thick, making it more difficult for blood to flow. Simultaneously, fatty deposits can start to form and build up quietly. By the time you become aware, it could be too late. A life-altering cardiac event or a cerebral incident. The most alarming part? Initially, you feel nothing. When does arterial narrowing and buildup begin? When does arterial narrowing and buildup begin? Well, this condition does not occur suddenly. It progresses slowly. In some cases, it starts in youth. Many believe this is solely an issue for older adults, but the reality is quite different. One investigation demonstrated that 78% of young individuals under 35 who were in fatal accidents already had deposits in their heart arteries, nearly 80%. People at peak fitness with obstructed arteries. Even more shocking, 20% of them already had over 50% blockage. So, the first point is, this condition can start much earlier than you think. How do these deposits cause cardiac and cerebral events? The largest deposits are not always the most hazardous. Smaller ones can also be lethal, because these minor deposits can rupture. Let me explain. When a deposit forms, it is covered by a cap. Think of it like a protective film. The issue is that with bodily inflammation, stress, and insufficient rest, this cap can break. It is like the film tearing open. At that instant, everything trapped inside fat, calcium, and other inflammatory materials spills into the bloodstream. The platelets, which normally clot to stop bleeding, rush to the site to assist. What is the problem? The artery is like a tube. Platelets form a clot meant to help, but it can fully obstruct the vessel. The blood inside has nowhere to go. The flow stops. The outcome can be a cardiac eventive. This occurs in the heart's arteries, or a cerebral incident if it is in the brain's vessels. This is why ... Likely know someone who was very healthy and died from a sudden major cardiac event. When you heard, you may have wondered, did they truly feel nothing? Often no, because small deposits frequently cause no symptoms before they rupture. In fact, most cardiac events are due to deposits that cause less than 50% blockage ... Were you aware of that? This is why caring for your arteries early on is vital. How do you care for your arteries? One of the most fundamental methods is through nutrition, avoiding harmful items and consuming beneficial foods. But wait, I will discuss that shortly. How do you discover if you have fat in your arteries? But right now you must be thinking, how do I find out if I already have fat in my arteries? How do you discover if you have fat in your arteries? There are several methods to detect issues in the arteries. Your clinician can order a Doppler scan of the neck arteries to check for blockages in the vessels leading to your head. This is one of the simplest ways, or an abdominal aorta Doppler, to see if there are deposits or weaknesses there. A calcium scoring exam, which is a specific type of scan, quantifies the calcium in the heart's arteries. How did clinicians in the 1950s know you had a blockage? Ankle brachial index, ABI? How did clinicians in the 1950s know you had a blockage? A heart rhythm test could show it. But they also performed a simple check with a pressure cuff, which you can even do at home to see if you have circulatory issues in the limbs. Which can also predict your overall vascular risk. Of course, it is not as definitive as an advanced scan or procedure, but it helps. This check is the ankle brachial index. It is a quick test that measures blood flow to check for deposits or stiffness in the arteries, key signs of peripheral artery disease. This exam, besides being simple, can be done in offices. Many clinicians still do it today, guided by a Doppler, which is more reliable lore, for a preliminary assessment, even at home with a pressure cuff. I must stress that at home, it only serves as an initial check. A quick note: if you have ever had a major blood clot in a deep vein, it is best to avoid this test. How to perform the check ankle brachial index. How to perform the check ankle brachial index. Get your pressure cuff and a pen and paper ready to take notes. Basically, this test compares the pressure in your ankle with the pressure in your arm. You must do it on both sides of your body. Let's go step by step. Measure the pressure in one arm, for example, the right arm. Of course, you must measure pressure correctly. Once measured, write down the systolic pressure, the top number. Mine here is 115. Next, lie down comfortably for a few minutes. Let your body relax. Measure the pressure at your ankle. Place the cuff where the two ankle arteries are located. You can feel for the pulse first. You can measure both. Again, write down the top numbers. Immediately after, measure the pressure on your other ankle and write that down too. Now measure the blood pressure of the arm you have not measured yet. Is there a pressure difference between the two sides? Usually there is. If you've measured more than once on each limb recommended, choose the highest systolic value. Divide this highest ankle pressure by the higher of the systolic pressures from your two arms. The result is the ABI for each leg. Example: write ABI equals highest right ankle pressure / highest arm systolic pressure. Interpreting the results, a normal ABI ranges from 1.0 to 1.4. Values below 0.9 indicate peripheral artery disease. Values above 1.4 may indicate hardened vessels from calcification. If your numbers are outside 0.9 to 1.4, it could indicate advanced narrowing or stiffness, affecting both the heart and brain. Go ahead, do the check. I will wait. It is so reliable, it has a high accuracy rate in detecting serious arterial issues in the limbs. Write your result in the comments below. If results are not normal, it is time to see a clinician for more complete exams. Interestingly, after some time, you can track if your arteries are improving. For example, you've started walking, you quit smoking, results can change, so start monitoring your arteries now. Teach others how to do it. What if the result is too high or too low? What if the result was too high or too low? Stay calm. It does not mean all is lost. Now let me tell you a story that will inspire you. I had a patient who believed he was in ideal health. He was active, ran long distances, followed a balanced diet, did an annual fitness test, always normal, thought everything was fine. But when we did some more in-depth exams, I discovered something concerning. He had significant buildup in his arteries. His arteries were like those of a man 16 years his senior. At first he was shocked. He was taking care of himself. He felt his years of effort were wasted, but this was the turning point. After this discovery, he made a radical change. Began treatment, adjusted his diet and lifestyle further, and even changed his exercise routine. And guess what? In just 1 year, he managed to reverse 2 decades of arterial buildup. You might wonder, but wait, did you not say he was already doing everything right? What was wrong then? What are the risk factors for arterial buildup? Well, the risk factors for this disease do not depend solely on exercise and diet. They include hypertension. Even active people can have high blood pressure, which strains the arteries over time. Elevated lipids. Being an athlete does not guarantee perfect lipid levels. Blood sugar disease. It can affect even those with a balanced diet. Tobacco use. Even those who quit long ago can have lasting artery damage. Stress, which ages the arteries. Family history. Even with a healthy lifestyle, genetics can significantly increase risk. In his case, he had all the factors except blood sugar disease. He had quit tobacco 15 years prior. He had a sibling, also an athlete, who passed away at just 50 from a cardiac event. That is what made me look deeper, which is why I did not stop at the basic fitness test. Ordered an advanced heart scan, which revealed the true state of his arteries. God, as I said, they were like those of a much older man. He had several deposits causing nearly 60% blockage. But he was fortunate, because we discovered it in time. The exam saved his life. With intensive treatment, a year later he had no deposit over 40%. A victory? Does diet matter? Of course it does. What are the worst foods for your arteries? What are the worst foods for your arteries? Some foods act like true sabotage for your arteries, accelerating deposit buildup and increasing inflammation. Here are the 6 biggest items you should avoid. Ultra-processed foods. These are the champions of harming your arteries. Those cream-filled cookies, chips, sodas, and instant noodles, full of preservatives, unhealthy fats, and salt. They replace whole foods and increase inflammation and lipids. Sugar and syrups, boxed juice, store-bought sauces, and seemingly healthy granola bars are often loaded with sugar and syrup. These ingredients inflame your body and are a catastrophe for your arteries. Artificial fats. Some margarines, ice creams, fast food, fries, and processed desserts contain artificial fats. They are a triple threat. They raise bad lipids, lower good lipids, and cause artery inflammation. Saturated fats. These fats raise bad lipids and accelerate deposit formation. Moderation is key. Worse are processed meats like sausages, hot dogs, and bacon, rich in preservatives and sodium that harden arteries. Refined grains, white bread, white rice, and basic pasta. You do not need to cut them out completely, but reducing them is better because in excess they cause insulin spikes and inflammation. Fried foods, you already knew this one. You do not have to live under strict restrictions, but you can start by swapping them for healthier options. What should you add more to your plate? The best foods for your arteries? What should you put more of on your plate? The best foods for your arteries? Legumes, like beans, lentils, and chickpeas rich in fiber. They help control lipids and glucose. A favorite for breakfast? It has soluble fiber that naturally lowers bad lipids. Beets, powerful, full of compounds that contribute to circulation and help dilate vessels. Leafy greens, like arugula and spinach. They increase beneficial compound levels, improving blood flow. Seeds, like chia and flaxseed, rich in fiber, antioxidants, and omega-3 south that reduce vessel inflammation. Fruits, avocado, rich in healthy fats that increase good lipids and reduce bad. Berries like strawberries and blueberries are rich in antioxidants that aid circulation. Nuts, almonds, and walnuts. Even a small amount brings incredible heart benefits. Fatty fish help reduce triglycerides and increase good lipids. Quality olive oil. It is more affordable than many treatments. Dark chocolate above 70%. The flavonoids help relax arteries and improve flow, reducing pressure. I know what you are thinking. It is not easy to change your diet. Yes, the journey requires effort. But with the right changes, you can better care for your heart, reducing risks and living a healthier life.
Oh, that is what this channel is for.
I am here to help you. So, let's do it. Care for your arteries, adjust your diet, move more, and if needed, seek appropriate clinical treatment. Can do it. What major discovery may, in the future, reverse buildup without drugs, stents, or surgery? What major discovery may, in the future, reverse buildup without drugs, stents, or surgery? Imagine removing fatty deposits from your arteries without an operation, without stents, and without lifelong medication. It sounds like science fiction, but new research is making this possible. Successfully tested in animals with this condition. Let me explain. Using extremely tiny particles, scientists reactivated a natural bodily process called efferocytosis. This process helps clear out the cells that accumulate in arteries and form deposits. In other words, these particles can clean the arteries from within. Normally, the body tries to do this itself when we do the right things long term, allowing arteries to regenerate. But when deposits grow to large, the body cannot keep up. With these particles, this process returns forcefully, removing even the most dangerous deposits. Incredible, right? This therapy has been tested in animals with promising results. Researchers are now preparing to test it in humans. Imagine, if you have buildup, you could benefit from a future where cleaning your arteries is quick and effective. Many dream of a solution that cleans the arteries. This is similar. Actually, it is better. In tests so far, no serious side effects have been detected. This means the particles are extremely precise and safe, targeting only what must be removed without harming healthy cells. Consider the impact this could have on millions of lives. Of course, this research is still early, but it offers a glimmer of hope. The only question is whether it will be widely adopted. What do you think? I hope you enjoyed the video. Like it, share it. Also, watch my video on how to avoid a cerebral incident in the morning. You will be surprised. And what to do if you are experiencing a cardiac event alone.
Thanks for watching. Like, comments, and share.